Is it really wrong to have sex before marriage? Who said so? Should we just follow religious dogmas that want to prevent us from having fun? What's wrong with sleeping with a guy that I want to live with for the rest of my life? Why should some traditions block me from enjoying life and pleasure? Why should I not test drive and find out whether we are compatible with this guy and check out whether he can perform, check his art and creativity, and even more importantly, his health? Is he up to the task? Is she up to the task? Are the gadgets functioning? Why should I not test drive? Why should religious folks just block me from having some pleasure? What am I losing by sleeping with a guy I love? Hey, maybe you're confusing pleasure with happiness. Give me a chance to speak into your life and suggest to you 6 reasons why you should not engage in sex before marriage for your own good. Not for the good of God, not for the good of the church, not for the good of your mother, for your own good. I want to give you 6 reasons why you should not be involved in premarital sex before marriage. Number 1, when you get involved in sex before marriage, you will always compare your partner with others. And that makes you so vulnerable to cheating in marriage. Because people are different. We are created different. We have different skills, creativity, approach. And if somebody drove you wild on the bed and you get married and your partner does not measure up to the guy you slept with, you will be tempted to check out other people, other men, other women. You'll be tempted to go for that fun. So you will most likely end up cheating in marriage or feeling dissatisfied or even disrespecting your partner because you have tasted someone else. It's natural to want to compare people. That's our natural instinct. Why should you not have sex before marriage? Number 2, you will mistrust each other in marriage. If you sleep with a guy you're going to get married to, one thing you know, they slept with you before there was marriage. They slept with you before there was marriage commitment. They slept with you before your marriage vow. So you know that person can sleep with somebody outside of wedlock. If they slept with you with no marriage vows, no marriage covenant, no marriage commitment, you know they can sleep with someone else casually. So your marriage will be more vulnerable to mistrust. And trust is the foundation upon which marriage is built. The number 1 reason why couples are suspicious of each other is because they engaged in sex before marriage. They keep suspecting this guy when he's away from me, when she's away from me. There could be some hanky-panky, some shenanigans. They are more vulnerable to cheating, and it's a fact. Yeah, because marriage should be the license to sexual intimacy. There is a line between pleasure and happiness. So your marriage will be founded on mistrust. And a lot of fights in marriage, they originate from that mistrust. But many couples can't even trace. They don't even know what is the genesis of all this mess. Wrong foundation, a foundation of mistrust. So you should wait to build your marriage on the right foundation. Of course, waiting until you get married is not a license that your marriage will be happy. I mean, you've got to work on your marriage every day, every moment. But you stand a better chance to trust each other if you wait for each other until your wedding night. Number 3, why should we not be involved in premarital sex? Reason 3, dating is meant for gathering intelligence. When you're dating, that's the time to collect info, to collect data about the other person. This is not the time to sleep with them. When you're dating, you're checking out whether I can live with this woman. You're checking out whether I can live with this man. And there must be an allowance, room for breaking the relationship. It's not a guarantee the relationship will break. But if you sleep with them and the relationship breaks, you will be heartbroken. The relationship will break and your heart will break. You should date with an open mind. I've come to check out whether we can be married. I've come to check out whether we can live together. If it doesn't work, I cut the relationship. If you don't get intimate with them, you won't hurt yourself. If you remove your clothes to this person, when you're collecting information, if the relationship breaks because you had invested emotionally, you will be heartbroken. Why continually break your heart like a fool? Don't you respect yourself? Why should you not have sex before marriage? Number 4, less understanding of partner. When you get involved in premarital sex, you don't get to learn your partner. You ignore other aspects of life. When you get involved emotionally, you compromise logic. You see, when you're dating, this is the time to find out, where shall we live? Are we going to buy a house? Are we renting? What do you believe about our in-laws? Should your mother live in our house or your sister? What's your take? How many children should we have? How will we support each other in terms of our professional growth? How will I support your career? How do I fit in your life vision? What is our religious convictions? Where shall we go to church? What do you believe about the Bible, about prayers? I mean, that's the time to literally discuss values and your beliefs and your convictions and how you will support each other through life. That's the time to discuss how you're going to resolve conflicts in marriage, to preempt possible conflicts. That's the time to journal your marriage philosophy and the guiding principles that will keep your marriage healthy. How come a country has a constitution and a lot of people get into marriage with no agreements? They have nowhere to fall back to because they agreed nothing. They got involved emotionally. They sacrificed their logic. They never sat down to really discuss the marriage foundations, the deal breakers, the non-negotiables. When you start being involved intimately, you will never discuss real issues about marriage. Sex is part of marriage, but sex is not marriage. You've got to know this person and agree on the non-negotiables in your marriage. And this can be done on bed when you're naked. Why should you not have sex before marriage? Number 5, there is a higher exposure to risks. Let me tell you how it goes. You have sex day 1, you're using a condom. The second time you use a condom. The third encounter you use a condom. After that, you tend to trust them, even though you did not go for testing of HIV and other sexually transmitted diseases. So the moment you get involved in premarital sex, you have a higher chance of contracting herpes, syphilis, gonorrhea, and HIV/AIDS. There's a higher chance of an unwanted pregnancy. And maybe you start colluding with your partner to procure abortion, to kill your own baby, and your mother did not kill you. And because of that, there's a higher chance of single parenting, raising your child alone. A lot of girls who are active sexually as singles, they end up becoming single parents. Why do you want your child to be raised by a single parent when they have a chance to be raised by a loving dad and a loving mom? And a lot of people who are involved in sex before marriage, they are abused by their dating partner. That person does not respect them. That person sees them as a sex toy to satisfy their sexual needs. So there is a higher exposure to unnecessary risks. Why should we not have sex before marriage? Number 6, and the last one, it is sin against God. The Bible says, flee sexual immorality, flee fornication. 1 Corinthians 6:18. Why should we? It says, because, the same verse, 1 Corinthians 6:18, it says, when you fornicate, you sin against your own body. You mess up with your purity. You defile yourself. Fornication defiles your body. Jesus also talked about it. In Mark chapter 7, verse 20 to 23, I'm reading from the NIV version. Jesus said, what comes out of a person is what defiles them. For it is from within, out of a person's heart, that evil thoughts come. Sexual immorality defiles you. theft, murder, adultery. Adultery defiles you. Jesus said all these evils come from inside and defile a person. Yes, sex before marriage defiles your own body. You are sinning against your own body. In the mind of God, the original intent of God was when a man and a woman meet on their wedding night, the man breaks the hymen of the woman and she pours blood. Blood symbolizes life and death. They cut a blood and life and death covenant, a blood covenant. Marriage is a blood covenant for life until death. So God wanted a man to cut through the hymen of a woman, to break through her virginity, so that they can cut a covenant together for life until death. I will do you, you do me. That's what we said earlier today. I do. When we said I do, that's what we meant. I do you, you do me, and we don't do nobody else until death do us part. That's the marriage covenant. God never wanted you to sleep with anyone else. He wanted the first person you sleep with, it's the last person. Where sex is secured in love, where sex is part of the love package, your heart will never be broken because both of you have made a commitment for life until death do you part. If you learned something, give me a comment in this video, and please, 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 if you love me, if I ever bless your heart, hit that subscribe button. It won't cost you anything, but it will be such a blessing to me. Just hit the subscribe button. If I'm a blessing to your life, then honor me by subscribing to my YouTube channel. Will you do that for me? Thank you so much, and God bless you.